Okay, we are live. I'm here in London. This is Dr. Norbert, and I'm here for a very special episode of the show where we're going to teach somebody who I think understands how to play MCP. Is that right?
I do understand how to play the game. I've got several games under my belt.
Great, perfect. So you understand how to play MCP, but you wanted to learn how to do it on Tabletop Simulator. And so this is my buddy Jason. Say hello, Jason.
Hello, hello.
And Jason, can you tell us all, first of all, where are you at currently, and how did we meet?
I am currently in Central Kentucky, Lexington area,
Hmm.
so United States, and we met through, I believe it was Guild Ball. I think is where we met through Steam Forged.
Through Steamforge. Gosh,
Yeah.
that I only dabbled in it for a little while, probably close to the beginning of when that game launched. So that's
Yes.
going some time back. Amazing.
Going way, way, way back. So yeah,
And
I did that a lot with Steam Forged and Guild Ball, and played quite a bit of Guild Ball.
so was that your main game in its heyday?
That was my main game in its heyday.
Yeah. And what have you progressed to since?
Nothing. This is kind of my re-entry back into miniature gaming is Marvel Crisis Protocol. I
Uh,
own a lot of miniatures because I like to paint. I was doing a little bit of Age of Sigmar. I think I painted up
hmm
some Stormcast.
So did
I've got
I. That's amazing.
yeah. I think I even asked you about a lot of them
Okay.
when we were talking your stuff. You were posting a lot of your stuff on Facebook on what you'd finished up painting, and so we
Yeah.
started talking about army list. And you're like, "Well, why not MCP?" And I'm like, "Well, why not MCP?"
Nice. Yes.
And so we've got a little. It was me and one other guy named Zach. We've been playing quite a bit, and now we've grown to. I think the community here in Lexington is pushing about 10. Is
Uh-huh.
what we're at.
Nice.
So
That's
almost can
great.
get a game at any time.
That's great. And you have a place that you can play at regularly, easily?
Yep, we got shops. Most of us have houses that have game rooms in them that we can actually sit down and play a game without
Uh,
having to go to a shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that must have been handy during COVID.
It is. It's pretty nice.
Um, and I should mention the big con in your neck of the woods, I think, will be NashCon. Are you familiar with it?
Yes, NashCon. We also have Gen Con.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, Gen Con's coming up here in a couple weeks. It's about 3 hours from me.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Mm-mm.
Um, and how long would it get to Nashville for you?
Nashville's about 3 hours from me.
Oh, okay. So either way would work for you. So,
Yeah.
eh,
I'm about 3 to 6 hours away from everything, from St. Louis to Chicago to Atlanta. So we're pretty centralized.
oh wow. So could you go to Adepticon not too difficultly?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I go to Adepticon quite a bit. I've missed the last couple years, but
I
yeah, we
went
can
for
go
the
to.
first time this year.
Oh, if I'd have known.
Yeah, it was so great. Um, because it was supposed to be my 50th birthday present to myself, thanks to my lovely wife, I should say. But that was March 2020. So that didn't kind of work. It canceled 2 weeks ahead of the con supposed to be happening, and so I only got to. It was a delayed present to myself
Okay.
because it took 2 years before I could finally get back there. But it was great. It was everything that I had expected and more.
Yeah, I love Adepticon. I think it's one of the best ran cons out there.
Yeah. So are you going to go to NashCon or Gen Con this year?
Uh, Gen Con, I'm skipping out on. I'm an elementary school teacher, and we start up. I start this Thursday, is
Oh,
when I start
already.
in
Oh
school.
God.
So it hits, and I'm a behavior specialist.
Uh-huh.
So I deal with kids that if you throw a chair across the room, that's where I get involved. So
Well,
me missing school usually causes a little bit of troubles.
yeah, no, I hear you. That's fine. Well, how about NashCon? Because there's a fine group of people who work on Tabletop Simulator who are intimately involved in making that the MCP events happen at NashCon. That's why I'm asking.
When is NashCon?
That is a good question. I hadn't had that on my radar. It's coming up. Let's see if we could quickly look for it because obviously I wasn't able to go since I'm located here in London.
Mm,
Um, but it's supposed to be great. And I think they had like 5 tickets left for MCP stuff. Last
okay.
that I know. Uh,
And
NashCon.
we have Wayfair Weekend coming up as well in November.
What is it?
It's called Wayfair Weekend. It's
Oh
in
yeah,
St. Louis.
Yeah. I've been to it. Yeah. You think I think it's Warfare Weekend.
Warfare Weekend. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, Warfare Weekend. Yeah, that's with Gonzo. Gonzo's running that.
Yes. Yes.
NashCon 2022 is August 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Okay. You go ahead and put that in my phone so I can remember.
Yeah, and if people are interested about Gen Con, if you don't know about Gen Con,
Yeah.
you ought to know
Yeah.
about Gen Con. That's August 4th through 7th. So yeah, that's very soon. Wow. 4th through 7th. Gen Con, I've been to Gen Con a couple of times earlier in the past in my War Machine days, and it was great. I'll
It
tell
is.
you a story. With the first year, me and my buddies, we hadn't gone there before, or was it the second time? But anyway, more people were coming, so we decided to rent one of these really long, pretty long vans. Okay,
Hmm.
so that people could bring all their stuff, and we could, and it was great. So we're going from New Jersey area to what is it, Indianapolis, and I think
Hmm.
it's I don't know how long it was, 14 hours maybe, something like that. Long time. So one of the guys put together a D&D camp adventure for us. So we were playing D&D in the car on the way. It was the best way to pass the time. It was so great.
If you're gonna do it, that's actually a really, really, really good idea.
um, then the problem was on the way back, we didn't get, we stayed till the bitter end on Sunday. So that meant driving overnight into the dawn for us. So everybody was going to work on Monday morning, and we were caught in that traffic, and we were all completely wiped out. It was terrible. But so we didn't do that again. We flew the subsequent times.
I'm pretty much set. If it's less than 6 hours, I'll drive. If it's over 6 hours, then I'm flying.
Yeah, yeah, 6 hours. Yeah, because you want to do it basically out after work and then still be able to, get to bed at a reasonable time. Yeah, I hear you.
Absolutely.
Okie doke.
Yes.
So we're gonna learn how to play some MCP on the Tabletop Simulator today. And so the first question you had, so I've created a room.
Hmm.
Well, if people don't know, you have to buy Tabletop Simulator. You buy that off Steam. But then if you look in the laboratory around, if you search the laboratory for mods, basically, you'll find the Marvel Crisis Protocol mod. It's the only one, and it's free. So you just have to go ahead and load that in when you start up your game after you've downloaded it. So now I've created a room. You've entered that room, and then the first thing you're saying is like, oh, what color should I be? And you're like, getting ready to pick a color. Well, you must actually pick. The two players need to, as it says here in this like white map on the table. The way the mod works, it only works correctly if one player is in the red seat and one player is in the blue seat. So usually the host gets automatically assigned to the red seat. So you go ahead and click the blue button or blue circle there, and that makes you blue. And now you'll be able to sit at the table properly. Okay. And now you very astutely noticed that they have a first game box here, this tutorial box, which is fantastic. So we're going to open that, and we're going to pull this map card out. So the map card is going to put on the table. You're seeing this okay?
I am.
Okay. Most of the terrain cards are here, as you see. You open that, and there'll be a bunch of cards. I'll just open it. Search. There's a strict deck for season 8, and what that's saying is that the layout of the terrain is perfectly to competitive standards. So this is usually what you'd want to play. However, we've had some other strict decks that needed some tweaking that got left out of season 8. There's also relaxed decks. These are more fun terrain tables, but not
Hmm.
it's maybe a little more difficult to play on because of the way that the terrain is shaped and things like that. So that's just for fun. But they're really interesting maps, very thematic, and I guess there's blank ones here too. Anyhow, so those would be like those are big decks with like 15, 20 maps in them each. But as I mentioned, the first game box has its own little tutorial map. So what you need to do is you pop that here where it says terrain. You see that? You just pop it down. I should make it a little small. And then you click this button called Set Up Terrain on Map. And there it goes. And then if you look at this, if you hover over it, it mentions what size the piece of terrain is. Yeah. And if you want to get rid of it, like once you throw it and stuff like that, you need to hover over it and hit the L button to unlock it, or you can right click and where is it? I thought it used to say lock here. Anyway, you would hit L, which unlocks it, and then you can move it. You see,
Okay.
if it's locked, yeah, let me pick up this one. Yeah, okay, so maybe unlock. Maybe I did do it right. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. If it's locked, like this now, you can click. Nothing will happen when you click on it, which is what you want for the most time. But when you throw it and it goes away, you want to unlock it, and then you can delete it or you can just push it over to the side. Okie doke. Now, the other thing that you need is a roster card. So this handy first team deck has two. So these are cards that you can create with the builder, and we'd have to go through that another time. But basically, it's very simple actually. You look through these character cards, the extract cards, the secure cards, tactics cards, and any gems that you want. You find the ones that you want, and that you can like drop them on the table. But ultimately, what you want to do is drop them into where it says rosters, and they'll just disappear. Okay, so you put all the cards you want there and disappear, and then sorry, it's here. I beg your pardon. So it says paste roster here or drop cards inside. So you drop all the cards you want in here. You can change the picture of the roster if you want, and then you hit create roster, and it will create one of these little cards here, like you see here. And so once that is, and then what you need to do is you right click it and hit save object,
Okay.
and you can put it into your folder there. So that way you can later on, let's say you're new to, you come into a new game, you hit objects, and then you hit saved objects, and all your save rosters will be here. So you'll be able to pick one, pop it off of here, and then it's ready to open. You following that?
I am.
Okay, cool. There's also now, if you use apps, I won't go into the detail on this, but if you use apps like CritWild or Excelsior or Cerebro, they all use a unique ID number for all the cards. So you can build it in one of those apps, and then there's probably like an export button or something like that. And what it does, it gives you all the codes, and
Okay.
then you can put the codes and drop them in here, and it'll create the roster. So that might be a faster way to do it rather than searching through the cards. But I'm a little old school, so I haven't done that myself. Anyhow, so you go ahead and take one of the rosters. So this here, let me get rid of this one. And then you hit show roster. Okay? And so don't do it yet, but this will show you then your characters, and it'll show you your secures, your extracts, and some tactics cards. Now, these are beginner rosters, so they're not complete like normal ones, but it essentially looks the same here. Okay. Um, the difference is I just noticed is that do you have like an extract on your side?
I do.
Yeah, okay. So normally you'd have both types. And so after you roll priority, whoever won priorities, they decide if they're going to pick secures or extracts, and you would click that button. What's great is it'll show all, like, you'll have 3 secures, but if you hit select secure, then it just randomly pops one, and it shoots it over onto this table here in the middle. Okay, so let's, it doesn't matter too terribly much. I'll explain the dice roller now, because we'll use it to roll priority. Oh, one other thing I suggest you do when you're playing the game, even if you're not streaming, go down to where it says mod settings at the bottom. Do you see that button in the middle of the screen on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, you click that, it'll have all kinds of settings. You want to, it says streamer settings, you want to turn on streamer view, and then you want to turn off the timers. I mean, you could leave them on if you're using them, but typically you don't, so you can turn it off, make some more screen space, and then hit close. Did that work for you?
It did.
Yeah. So what this does is it adds this little heads-up display. It'll show you your tactics cards. It'll show you the crises that are being played, the round, who has priority, and also, most importantly, the dice rolls. And then when we're playing, you'll see that there will be. Have you ever played World of Warcraft?
I have.
Yeah, so you know how they have those little bubbles on the side of the screen for each of your characters with the health and mana, I guess?
Yes.
It'll look like that, but for MCP.
Okay.
Okay, so let me explain how you use the dice rollers. So dice roller is really great. You first of all, do you have a numbered keyboard or a keypad on the side?
I have a numbered keyboard.
Just the numbered keyboard. Okay,
Yep.
so okay, we need to let's do this right now. Um, the problem with so the mod uses the numbers and it makes the game much easier to deal with. Um,
Okay.
but the problem is that for whatever reason TTS um, auto assigns key numbers to the keypad, and since you don't have the keypad, you need to reassign those hotkeys to the numbers across the top of the row. So the way you do that is you go to options, and I think it's options. Bear with me, I haven't done this in a while. Mm, Maybe it was an options. Let's see. Ooh, maybe it's configuration. Yeah, okay, good. So you go to menu and then hit configuration. Oh, you'll
Okay.
have to turn off that heads up display. It might be a little easier.
There we go. Okay. It's up display off. So option,
No,
did
you
you
want to
say?
go
No.
to menu
Okay.
and then you want to hit configuration.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you want to go to interface. No, controls.
Okay.
Yep, and so it should say left, right, down, up. You see like that?
Yes,
Okay,
I
cool.
do.
So you want to how do I want to scroll down here. You want to scroll down. For some reason, it's not letting me scroll. Why is that? Oh, here it goes. Um, you scroll down to, where is it? Where it says scripting 1 through 10.
Yes.
Okay, and what does it say under the primary column for scripting 1?
For mine, it says keypad 1.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem. Is it's showing it's making it. So if you click where it says keypad 1,
Uh-huh.
and then I think hit probably like your number 1 key at the top.
Yep. Alpha 1, Alpha 2,
Yeah.
Alpha 3. All right.
Okay, cool. So then just click out of that and put back your overhead display, the streamer view.
All
Okay, so now hover over the dice roller with your mouse and press the number 5. It should drop 5 dice into the bin. There you go. So that's how you could do it. So now, if you've got dice in there already, if you just go ahead and hit another number, any one you want, let's say 4, it'll reset it. You see?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then you can manually add dice. You see it says plus add dice or
Mm-hmm.
minus add. You can do it manually that way, but the numbers are much easier. And then you want to click the green button. And if you want, just like if you're shaking your hands, you can click it a few times as the dice are flying around in the air. It'll kind of keep agitating them. And then drop them down. And then once they settle, give it a second, and then you see they go up there. But you can look at the top of the dice tray and it'll show you all the results, or you can just look at the heads up display, which I find somehow easier. But it's
Okay.
personal preference. And then what's nice is, let's say you get some crits, right? Let's say you roll 2
Mm-hmm.
crits. You can hit the add dice button, add 2, yeah, and then you would roll them to get the crits to explode, yeah. And then the last thing you want to learn is if you need to roll specific die. Let's say you can change a blank die to something. You can click on the top of the roller. If you click in the box of, let's say, do you have any blanks? Yeah, you do. So you click it just once or as many times as you want, that you have dice, and it'll pull that die off of the kind of done tray into the rolling tray. And so then you could click it and roll it again, for instance. Yeah, you don't have to do it like that. So to
Okay.
put it like that. Like if you click the blank button so that die pops down into where Magneto's helmet is, then you should be able to just go ahead and do the rolling thing. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yep. And then it'll stack them back up, and then update the display. Make sense?
Okay. Makes sense.
Okie doke. Right, so that's how the dice roll works. All right, so let's roll 5 dice to get priority.
All right.
Remember how to do it? There you go. Ooh, I got 3 wilds, but you got 4 hits, so you have priority. All right, now
Yep.
this is at the point where, oh, if you want to be super fancy, you can also spawn a custom token that looks the same as your Steam avatar. So if you click this button here, it'll just drop down a little token for yourself. So we'll
There
do
we
that.
go.
Oh, I've moved yours by accident. Sorry.
There we go. Did I drop too many of them?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, he must have hit it twice. That's fine. Here's mine. There we are. Okay, cool. And then, right. So you hit the button. So I'll show the people how to do that. So usually, like I said, you would choose, secures or extract depending on what you wanted. In my case, I have to pick secure. As you click secure, and oh shoot, there it goes, and it pops over onto here. Okay, so let me show everybody how this works. So here you can see if you, oh, I should mention, if to see things bigger, which you're going to want to do with cards quite a bit, hover over the cards you want bigger, or anything for that matter, but mostly cards, and then hit the Alt key, and it'll pop up a bigger version of it that you can actually read. Did that work for you?
It did not.
So if you
It.
hover
Yeah.
over the map card or one of the 2 crises cards, right?
Okay.
And then it just should be able to you have to hold the Alt key down, and as you're holding it, it pops up the card and makes it bigger.
Ah, for me. Okay. So I'm on a Mac, so it's
Yes,
Option key.
I was just about to ask. Yeah, okay, so
Yep.
Option key if you're on Mac. Okie doke. So that way, so we're playing Struggle for the Cube, classic, and Riot's Spark is another classic. So once these cards have been laid out here, Jason, then you need
Hmm.
to um, where the heck's the button? Oh, sorry. It's to uh, okay, sorry. Let me go one step further. This button here on the left, it says rotate map 90 degrees. Now,
Hmm.
in real life, I have yet to see anybody rotate the map, let alone even go to the other side of the table. That's a thing. But in TTS land, people love flipping the maps. So go ahead and click that button a few times. Let's say you had lost priority. Technically, you're allowed to pick the threat level, and then you're also allowed to choose the map side. And so you would rotate this map until the side that you wanted faced you, essentially.
Okay.
All right. And then I'll let you do this as well. Go to the button on the right, and that says automatic crisis deployment. So once the map is in the right spot, yeah, it's the one on the right there, that one.
This
And
one. All right.
yep, it'll drop them down like that.
So
Which is
amazing.
what, yeah, it is amazing because when you play it in real life, like I was playing this during COVID more than I played one demo game in real life, and then everything got locked down, um, more or less. And so I was playing on TTS. So then it was a drop in the lockdown, so we could actually go out to a game shop and we were playing together. It was so bizarre, like sitting there going, oh, I gotta put all these tokens out and gotta measure them. It was kind of funny. Um,
We're looking into getting a couple mats made that
yeah,
already have exactly where to place everything.
yep, those are available and definitely very convenient. I don't happen to like some of them because they look quite obvious. I would like
Hmm.
them to be a little more integrated into the map background and stuff like that. I haven't
Okay.
seen that like that. So if anybody out there knows one like that or is interested in making something like
Hmm.
that, I
What
am,
the legality of it? Are you allowed to have them already pre-placed? Does it? I know it's a pre-measuring game, but it just kind of made me wonder.
yes, exactly. That's a good point. Absolutely right. You could be using it to your advantage.
Hmm.
Okay, so then normally what you would do if it were a competitive game, you would go over to your this little box here in the middle, kind of to the where yeah, where yours says Magneto. Yeah, Magneto, and you would click Hidden Zone, and it puts like a big box over there, and basically it allows you to your opponent can't see what you're doing essentially when that's
Okay.
on. All right, so we could turn that off for now, but that's how you do it. You turn it on. And so at this stage, what are we playing? It's both 17, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
what you would do then is you'd have 10 characters, and then you click the 10 that you would want to use by pressing the use buttons. And what's nice, if you take a look at the top, it'll show you how much threat you've added into the roster so far, or the team so far. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and in fact, it would usually tell you then what affiliations are possible, and you can also you could save squads and then click on the number and then decide, and it'll automatically pick up the characters that you pick. But anyhow, it doesn't matter for this.
Okay.
You pick those, and then you go down and pick your tactics cards. So in this case, just 4 instead of the usual 5. Let me know when you're done with all that.
Yep. All done.
Okay, and then you would hit the auto activate button, and it should do its magic. What do you think? So, and now you can also see the way the heads-up display looks. It just says knocked out now because nothing's been deployed yet.
Okay.
So that'll change shortly. Okay, cool. And okay, so then you won priority. So what you would do is somebody over here. Oh, by the way, a really handy feature in TTS is the tab key. It will basically put a little bouncy arrow wherever your mouse is when you click the tab key. And so you can use it to help people understand where you are or what you're doing. Or if you're a professional TTS player, when I'm streaming you, you would click on who your attacker is and who your defender is because I can't hear you, and it makes it much easier to follow what's going on in the game. Anyhow, this button here, this big kind of bar, is your deployment button. So you click that on. So now it says deployment snap activated. Oh, now you've turned it off. There you go.
Okay. There
That's
we
fine.
go.
Yeah. So now what you want to do is you go over to whichever character that you want to deploy, and the actual
Just
model.
say good old Red Skull here.
Yeah. And so when you see, so now it automatically puts the little 3 thing down, and it forces you to not go past it. So you can slide it across left and right, but you uh, can't do more than you're supposed to. And you just drop it down wherever you want.
There
Okay,
we go.
cool. And now you see the KO has been removed and his face is showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, cool, cool, cool. So then let's go ahead. I'll do mine. Where's, let's see, who wants to, what are we playing here? Who wants to be in the middle? You have priority though. I, mm, 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 oh God. Yeah, perfect. Captain Marvel,
Right in the middle.
right in the middle. Boom.
All right. Then I guess I'll go. We'll get Baron over here.
Good choice.
All right.
I'm going to um, put Iron Man over here.
Since you created Ultron, we'll go ahead and drop him there.
Captain America there.
Black Widow.
Crossbones there.
And then finally Spidey.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty close to how they have you set it up in the
Is that
in the book.
um how long have you guys been playing now? MCP.
Oh gosh, probably a couple years now. I bought it
Mm,
for Christmas. They had a 50% off the starter set
mm.
at one of the game shops, and I picked it up. And so we kind of been just fiddling with it. We're just now taking it seriously.
Mm.
But I'm only about 8 packs from owning every model.
Classic gamer.
Weird.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, if you take a look at the heads-up display now, it'll show you. You see the round number. You'll see the the two crises. There's silhouettes for where the priority token is going to go, so you can see who has priority eventually when we get started. And then, as I mentioned, there's the tactics cards along the top, and they will turn red when you flip them over in the tray. And
Okay.
what's awesome about the tray is it will make a token for you if it's connected to a card.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know. I have one. Yeah, you have some too. So you see that? So that's handy.
So,
Now,
yeah.
if you look at the character cards themselves, again, if you hover over the card and hit Alt, it'll pop it up so you can actually read it. And it has all the little tokens that you need right on the tray. And you left click the numbers at the bottom to make them go up, or right click to make them go down. Make sense? So you
Mhm.
click one and you'll see it change in the overhead display as well.
Okay.
Okie doke. So now, once everyone's deployed, somebody, again, has to turn off this thing, the deployment tool. So I'll go ahead and click it, or you go ahead. Go ahead. It should make a little message at the top of the screen. Okay, so now you're ready. Okay, so then, again, this game is so handy. You just have to hit, at the bottom, automatic power phase. You see that button at the bottom? And you click it, and it will automatic. And it's smart too. So it doesn't just put one. If you're supposed to get two, it gets two. If you have a gem, for instance, it'll do more. It does everything appropriately, unless it's something outside of the ordinary, like the crises, for instance, like the cosmic cubes. I'm pretty sure it doesn't give you a power and a damage if the cube is in your tray.
Okay.
Okay, so right. So that's all we need to get started. So now you have to decide which character you want to move first, and then I'll show you how to get the tools to work.
All right. I think we're going to go with Baron Zemo.
Okay, cool. So he has a long move, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Let's see. Baron does have a long move.
Okay. So let me just show, or you could do this. We'll do this all at once. Go to hover over Ultron
Okay.
and hit the number 2. See? So now it pops the little 2 thing, and that is attached to you. So if you go ahead and by the way, your opponent can do this too, so be careful. But you go ahead and pick it, just left click on it and hold the left click down and then drag it, spin it around. See?
Okay.
Isn't that cool? And then if you wanted to, you can hit where it says place 2. You click that.
Yep.
And now if you take your model and move it, it won't let you go past that point. You can move it now. We'll move it back later. So,
Ah,
hey,
okay.
see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So you can drop them back down. So that works for, so you can unsnap it, or if you just hit the 0 button, the 0 button just resets all the tools into the tray. That's super handy.
That's
So
very.
yeah, I know. I'm telling you, this mod is so slick. People are like, oh, I don't like playing on the computer, and I get it. I mean, I prefer playing in real life, no doubt. But they're saying the mods are a nuisance, and it's more aggravating. And not this one. This is as best you can get to the tabletop experience with this little inconvenience. So that was the number 2 button. Obviously, if you hit 3, 4, or 5, it puts those tools onto it, and they all behave the same way. A weird one is the 1 tool. If you hit the number 1 while you're hovering over something, it puts the 2 tool down, but it does it from this side, which is
Okay.
measuring the 1 inch. Otherwise, it works exactly the same. You can see what I mean. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what's super cool is if I have another model, let me take Crossbones because I'll know exactly where he goes. Here. If you put a 3 tool, let's say, on Ultron, or let me do it on mine, on Crossbones, right? And if you run over a model, see how it highlights
Yes.
yeah, that's saying that you actually are touching. So what's really handy about that is if he were like, let's say, here, let me snap this back on. So here he's like, oh, is this touching? Is it touching? Not? And then you can see it should turn green. I'm not sure why it should be turning. The model normally turns green when it's there.
Not,
It will try it.
might just out of reach.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's another handy way if it's really not obvious. Most of the times it's pretty obvious, but if it isn't, the computer should let you know In this
Okay.
case, I'm not sure why. It'll also show you if you are near um, if you're within one of secure. Do you see how
Hmm.
it's popped the secure over my head now? Down?
Yes.
So that means that you're within one of it.
Okay. Huh.
See? Now it's gone.
There you go. Okay.
And then I think it works the same way for these extracts. No, maybe not. Yeah, they might not work for extracts. So it's just for secures that it does that. Okay. Um, okay, and then we're going to learn about movement. So let me just pop him back. So go ahead. You said you wanted to activate Z mode, right? So
Yes.
go ahead and hover over him, and then so I remember the numbers are 1 through 5 for the measurement sticks, right? If you hit 7, 8, and 9, that's the short, medium, and long tools. Okay, so that's the medium. I think he runs long, but that's fine. It's fine for now.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so it works the same sort of way as before, where if you hit the place button, it okay, go ahead, put the proper tool on. There you
There we go.
go. You can first of all you can bend it if you want to. So if you click the bend button on the tool, yep, and now yeah, see, it does like that, and then you can lock it to put it where you want it. Yeah.
All
Um,
right.
and then the place button works the same way as the other tools I showed you. So you'd hit place, and that means it would only let you move the model somewhere touching the stick.
Okay.
See,
Which
so
was something I didn't realize that we were playing for a while, that almost like X-Wing, where you have to
mm,
slot it.
mhm,
We didn't realize that you could go any portion of the stick that you wanted to go on.
that's right. Yes, on the edges or in the center. You have to start it at fully centered, so in that little
Mhm.
crescent. Um, but after that, you can put it anywhere you want on the other end of the stick.
Yeah, that
Um,
that
go
kind of shook us a bit.
ahead. Yeah, sure. It's a little different than other games. Um, yeah, and so if you've done moving them there, you just hit 0. But if you're going to move him a second time, for instance, instead of hitting
Yeah.
0, if you continue to hover over him and then hit the number of the stick that you want, it'll replace the current one with a new one.
Okay.
If you see what I mean.
I do. All right. So we'll go there for the first one.
Yeah, sure.
We'll interact, so that will cost us 1 power.
Yep. So you're going to right click on your powers thing on the tray. Yep. And then you're going to grab the extract. Just
Uh-huh.
pick it up. Yep. And then you want to put it on the blue kind of mat next to your card. Yeah. And the reason for that is once you drop it, you see now in the heads up display,
Mhm.
it shows a little picture of the cube. So you know everybody knows that you have it. Okay.
All right. Then we will see
So
what
again,
that looks.
you can hover over, just hover. Oh, you want to go that way? I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to play around a little bit. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
go to
okay.
play, and we'll kind of move him right about here.
Yep, cool.
There we go.
So then it's always good practice hit 0. Yeah, well done. And then the last thing
And,
you need to do is you go back to your character tray and you take a
uh-huh.
tick mark and you drop it on the wooden part above the card. Yeah. And see, it's kind of so if you have conditions and things like the bleed, for instance, that's how
Yeah.
you would do the same thing. And if you got rid of the bleed, for instance, you just left click the token and it'll disappear and take it away.
Okay. So if I say I have bleed, so if I
Yeah, sure.
grab my little token, now he's bleeding.
Yeah, and if you
So
look at the heads up display, you'll see
yep.
first of all two things. You'll see the bleed token, but you also see
Hmm.
the big tick mark showing that you've been activated.
Yes. So if I
And
want that, just left click. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Making so much more sense than me just throwing things down and clicking things.
and then the other last thing to quickly show you is daze token. It's very important that if you're dazed that you actually go ahead and put that on your character because
Okay.
you'll see later at the end of the turn you can automatically fix things in the mod um, to get ready for the next turn, but it will only work if you properly put the daze tokens down.
Okay.
Now, if you go ahead to your character now, you'll see that there's a heads up display of your character as well. And so you can see that he's got a tick mark, he's got a cube above his head, And then it also shows him the damage and power he's got and what his defensive stats are. So that's above the characters as well.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Huh. There's
I,
there's no there's no extra anything on the board. I love it
no, this is
because
what's great. If you need
we don't
extra
even know what.
tokens, you can spawn
No,
them here. Like most of the tokens should be burned, but sometimes you may want to. Okay, so we'll do it now. You should click it. It just all the tokens that exist in the game will then populate here.
that's what our table normally looks like, and we just kind of grab random stuff and said, "This is a days," and we put it down.
Yeah, yeah. Token management in this game is probably its biggest challenge.
Oh,
Okay, so all right, so let's try this out. So I am going to get good old Crossbones. Oops, yeah, he wishes he was long. There's something I wanted. The last tool that you need to learn about is I'll take Crossbones again. Is the six tool. I'll show you this. The six tool is used for throwing or pushing towards or away.
okay.
So if you click over my guy, let's say, and
Mhm.
hit the six button, so now you get this bent long tool here. Okay.
Okay.
So then what you can do is you click on the tool and then so it's spinning, and then what you do is you move your mouse until it's centered just over the uh, target character, so Zemo in this case, and then you let it go. Okay, so let's say for some reason it was Zemo did something that, in addition to damaging me, pushes me away. Okay, it has to be away. So now this tool is perfectly positioned for where you want to go away, and then if it's a push towards, you would toggle it that way. So now you see now it says you know, now it says towards, right? But
Okay.
I want to throw me away. So again, so I have it on away. I click on it. I move until I'm centered onto the other character, and then I drop it. Oh, a little lag. Okay. Now, what's cool about it is, let's say it's a short throw. I then hover over Crossbones, and I hit the 7 key for the short. And what's nice is now this won't allow the movement tool to move past the arc that you're allowed to push away. You see?
Very nice.
I know. So
Like, ugh.
so you click it, you put it down where you want them to go, you hit place, and now places like this, ladies and gentlemen, you have to put in a little cradle. It's not legal to like put it on the side like this or even on the edge. It has to be in the cradle.
I go in the cradle. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, but that's a rule. That's a game rule, not a TTS thing. So there you go. You've moved him now in a very legal way away from Baron Zemo. Hit 0, and they go away.
Now, if it was going toward terrain, let's say I was throwing him at that car, would he stop when he touches that terrain, or would we have
No,
to figure that out?
no. The game is meant to be as close to real life as possible.
Okay.
So yeah. So the only way you can get some clues is two ways. One is if you use the shadow sometimes. So the shadow,
Uh-huh.
but you see how he bounces up at one point?
Yeah.
That bounce is indicating that he's now on top of that thing.
Okay.
It's sometimes it depends on how well the designers made the terrain piece, because sometimes they'll have stray, invisible like corners or triangles popping out of the thing, and so it might bounce up when it doesn't make sense to. Like it might have bounced up over here, but
Okay.
but the designers have got much better about whoever's making these things, they've got much better about it, so that most of the time you can rely on it. When I popped up there, that means I've touched the building. And it
Okay.
goes, the tools will do the same thing. The tools will pop up like that if they're touching it. So you need to decide, because you see here, it's just like in real life, as if I had dropped this thing onto this thing, it'll fall over and stuff like that. So you and your opponent have to work that out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So pop it back. Okay. So, and I think I've explained literally every mechanic, functional mechanic in the mod. I don't think there's anything else that I've left out really, except for stuff. You can get into some advanced stuff about changing the colors and changing the logo and stuff like that, and I'll let people figure that out on their own. Or there's tutorials on YouTube, but this is get you into the game. So I'm gonna.
And I watched the three that you had sent me to kind of get in and mess around, but it's just so much different getting in with somebody else and playing.
Yeah, sure. And he's gonna go ahead and do it again. So you see here, I haven't removed the tool. I'm just gonna hit the 7 key again, and there's a new tool. The old one goes away. And so this bad boy is going to go here. And then I'm going to use the 1 key. Oh, by the way, the mod also obeys the AMG rules. So it will not allow you to have 2 placement tools on the table. If you click another one here, it'll make this one go away and then put the new one down. And same for the movement tools.
Yeah, we learned that as well. I think it's been last week because we had so many tools on. We were pre-measuring everything to make sure we could do what we wanted to do, proxy bases. It was great.
So there's the thing. So you can see the shadow is touching the token. Maybe you can't
Yeah.
see it, but you have to get it. Yeah, okay, cool. And so that means I'll go ahead and spend 1. I'll grab that.
Yep.
Here. Where's his car? There's his car. Take off the power. And I guess I should explain to people, you seem to know what you're doing, but for people to move around in the mod, like the camera, you use ASDW, like most video games, to move around like this. And then you can use the left arrow to spin, the right arrow to spin, like that. And the up arrow changes the camera angle, like the kind of the perpendicular to the board. And the last thing you'll want to do is, especially for it's easier with cards. So let me pop card out. If you hit the Q key, it rotates the item, and if you hit the E key, it rotates the item the other direction, so clockwise and counterclockwise. And I think those are the only camera moves that I use as well.
Okay. And I do everything with a mouse, so.
Yeah, you sure can. But I mean, moving around, yeah, you could. That's right. I guess you could pull the map around stuff like that. But I find it easier to use the mouse to move my cursor around and like put the tools and things down, and then use the keys to move over the camera around the table. Anyhow, and sure go.
All right. Yeah, choosing priority when I was flipping that board around, I probably shouldn't have put that building right in front of me. Should have made it in front of you. But, that's why we learning it. All right.
Hey, we got a first-time chatter. Hello, Carol. I hope this is useful to you.
We're going to go ahead and, you know what? We'll do Black Widow.
You get?
And so go down and look at her card. She's a long move. So that would be number 9.
Yeah, so now you've done it where you put that you weren't hovering over the character, and you just that's the difference. Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, it's because you were hovering over the map when you hit the number, which is sometimes what you may want to do. You know, if you don't want to attach a tool, like if you're just trying to measure between 2 spots, you may want to do that. Oh, you still you also did you hit the place button? No. So hit the place button at the top. There you go.
Okay.
Yep. And then if you want to, I think you can hover over the tokens and then hit the 1 key. Yeah, sure enough. So.
Okay.
Oh, you know what happened is it didn't lock into place. But that's okay. The stick's still there, so it's fine. But if you hover over the cube and hit 1.
Okay.
There you go. Now it's attached to the cube, and you could spin it so to see if you're touching your own model, or you could do it the other way around. I'm just showing you could put it on him or her rather, or the token either way. Anyhow.
Okay.
So you're within 1 clearly. So if you wanted to, you can just go ahead and grab the token. Then you may have to hit 0 to get rid of the tools. There we go. And then
token.
Yeah, you pop it onto the blue part of your tray.
I guess that. There we go.
There we are.
Pay the tax.
Yep.
And then we will 9 here. Here. Hit the place. On her. All right, we'll stay right about here. All right?
Yep, cool. So hit 0, give her your tools, and then give her a tick, and you're good.
Yes, tick.
It's on your tray. There you are. Perfect.
Go.
Nice. Okie doke. Let's have.
Now, while you're deciding this, how are you doing in your season 8?
Oh, Not bad. I started a brand new roster to me I haven't ever used before, ever, even in real life, which was using the Shadowland Daredevil build for Criminal Syndicate.
Looks like you and everybody else.
Yeah, I love the models. I wanted to play them in real life, so I said, oh, okay, I'll start playing on TTS to kind of get used to the models. So my first game was disaster. I got completely wiped out by a really tall list, and me not knowing
Mhm.
what's going on.
Uh-huh.
But I managed to win the next two games, so I'm 2-1 at the moment, and I'm tweaked it a little bit going into the because in mid-season you're allowed to switch rosters. So for
Okay.
the next 3 weeks, people can use a different roster. So I've done some tweaks to it, and we start week 4 tomorrow, Monday morning.
Okay. Now I'll probably jump on season 9.
Yeah, well, what you can do is so like it'll be 3 more weeks for season 8 regular season, okay? But then they do people who make the elimination rounds, they go for another 5 weeks. And so what the
Okay.
organizers do is because it's 32 people who get in, right? So they need
Oh,
5 rounds to. But what the organizers do for everybody else is they'll put on mini leagues during that time, usually about 4 weeks long, not 5. And there'll be some normal times. There'll be normal. Sometimes there'll be slightly goofy, nothing too crazy, but it could be like more fun type stuff. They call the leagues beta splendens, and the beta leagues you can join right away. So I would encourage you if you have the time after 3 weeks to check keep tabs on the server, the Discord server, and it'll make announcements as to when um, the beta leagues will be starting up, and that way you can get started earlier and in a less pressure environment ahead of getting ready for season 9 if that's what you're after.
yeah. I just need to get more reps in because
Hmm.
I have a hard time. I feel like I'm Chuck from War Machine. I want to play everything all
Hmm.
the time,
Hmm.
switching it.
Yeah, TTS is great for that. I mean, you'll be able to find pickup games easily. There's because it's a worldwide server, which is the best thing. So you're not sleeping one night. There's going to be someone there ready for a game.
Okay. And then you mentioned the Discord server. Which
Oh,
server would that be?
yep. So very important that you join that because all communication runs through it. It's called Marvel Crisis Protocol for TTS.
Okay.
So I can't do that for everybody who's listening to this, but I will send you a DM with the a invite link.
Okay.
Let me do that now before I forget. Invite people. Oh, I can just click it like that. Brilliant. So I think I've sent it to you. So you should see it in your inbox later. Right. Um, okay, back to the action. I'll have
All right.
Captain America go. He's gonna go ahead there. Grab himself a cube. Ooh. Oh, this because the tool's still down. The token got stuck to the end of the tool, and he's gonna move once more.
Okay.
I just dropped the token down early. Now, this is where it gets handy. So what you can do is you go over the token, hit 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want him as far to your left of the token as possible. Then I hit the place button and on that one tool, pick him up and then drag him, as far over as I can. But the one tool is not letting him go further than he's allowed to. You see?
Okay.
And
Absolutely.
hit 0. Now, because he bounced a bit when I dropped him because of the other tool, it didn't quite work. So, well, let me do it like this. Okay. See? So now I
Mm.
use the tool. He couldn't move any further away than 1, and as now that the tools are away, you can see above his head the little symbol as well. Okay, and he's done.
All right. So then it comes back to me. So I have 3 left to move. Iron Man. Red Skull. Maybe Spider-Man. I think maybe we'll roll some dice.
Okay.
So we're going to look here at Spider-Man. So the long move strike is within 2 or 4 if I'm doing the web. Okay. So we'll come here and we'll move Spider-Man. So we've got a 9.
Mhm.
And it does not. Okay, I'm just sitting here trying to mess with it to see if it would move away from me.
The tool, you mean?
Yeah, the tool.
No. Yeah.
I
See
was
how?
trying to see how far I could get it to go. And it cannot. All right,
So no,
so
no,
we
no! Don't
will.
move him! Don't move him! So you want
Oh
to hit
yeah, I
the?
got it.
So put him back.
Okay.
Yeah, just pop him there onto the tool. That's fine.
Yep.
And then hit place. Yep.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll just go here.
Yep.
Probably not the best move I would ever try to make, but
That's all right. We're not playing the game for the game. It's about the tool, about the mod.
so here we go.
Yep. So you're checking range. Oh, so there you go. See now he turned green.
Yep.
Yeah. It might have been because I was like I put the tool on my own character, and so it probably didn't register. Anyhow, it turned green, so that means you're within range.
Yep. Okay. Easily within range of 2.
Yeah. Now it's obvious here, obviously, but if it's just on the edge, you can use that color to help you with that.
But I'm not within range of 1 of contesting that objective.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's roll dice.
So let's roll some dice.
Okay. So
I got just some.
Is it physical? What is it?
It is going to be physical. It's all he's got.
Okay.
So Spider-Man range of 2. It's going to be 5 dice, and after this attack is resolved, this character gains power for the equal to the damage dealt.
Right.
So I will zoom out, move over here to my dice tray.
Yep.
I have 5, so I hit my 5 dice there.
Yep.
And we're going to roll them.
Give it a roll.
It looks like I have 2 hits.
2 hits. I happen to get a crit. I've saved already, but I'll just show you. Hit the crit. Click it again. Throw that die way up. I turned blank, sadly. But right. So I've done 2 saves, so nothing happens.
Nothing happens. All right.
He gets a tick.
He gets a tick.
And it's done. And then I will move Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a very underrated character.
Yes, agreed.
Okay.
Particularly if you're playing Spider Foes, then he's like, super fun. And then let's see. I'm pretty sure he's got a range 4 attack. No, it's range 3. Range 3, and then 4 is the Spender. Okay, so let's see his nemesis over there. Let's see if you're in range of my 3. Yep. No problem. And his dice are 4, looking for a wild. So each wild counts as 2 successes. So 4 dice to start. This is physical.
Yeah, it's physical. Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yep. So click the button a few times though. You got to give it a good roll. You know.
Oh yeah, I just hit the 3.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Now, when you're playing it like this, do you go ahead and roll? Everybody rolls at the same time, or do you do the actual timing? Like attacker rolls, then defender rolls, then you adjust.
I think most people do it at the same time, unless you have a character that has a particular ability that makes the sequence important. You see?
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
in our cases, it makes absolutely no difference. So you might as well just get rolling to keep the game moving as fast as possible. I rolled
that etiquette.
Yeah, I hear you about the etiquette, but no, I think people just roll it again unless there's a reason that you should be doing it more carefully. Anyhow, I got the crit, I rolled it, and I was very, very, very lucky. I got 2 wilds, that's actually 4 hits, and the crit is the 5th one. So 5 hits into 1 save, so 4 damage. And I get power to that, so I get 4 power. And he has a superpower I want. Choose an interactive terrain piece or an enemy character, both size 2 or less, and within 3, and throw it short. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
So I'm going either.
That dumpster. That dumpster is gonna. So here. So you do this. You see, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Oh, it's only short though. Sorry. No. So what I'm gonna do? You're within.
You throw me.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the point that I take.
So I'm going to, and it's short, right? So in this case, you'll see I'll put my tool over you and I'll do, no, let me do it because it'll be
Oh, sorry.
me. That's all right. So you go, I'll put the cool down and then I can move it where the heck I want. And in this case, because it's not, the throw has to be in a single straight line. Okay. So you have to be careful that you actually put the little cradle where you want the character to ultimately end up. Um, and so you could place it. Now, I usually don't place in these instances here when it's going to crash into something um,
Okay.
because it's sometimes a bit of a nuisance. So you could just you could be a little less precise about it. Get rid of the tool, for instance, and pop it there. Now, you're size 2. That means the dumpster does not go away because it's the same
Correct.
size as you. But you do take an auto point of damage. Exactly. Oh, and that cost me 3 power. So, um,
Auto point does
yep.
phase me.
Yeah, and you put the
Okay.
token down. Well done. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, and so Doc is done.
Okay. Now with the auto point of damage, then I would get another power. I gotta make sure I put that down before I get dazed.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I guess now it's. Ooh, I'm moving my screen all over the place. You've got me tilted. Ah. Oh. Okay. There we go. I was moving the whole screen around.
Mm,
All right. So Baron is a medium, which would be a 8. Okay. That. Let me go here with the 1.
perfect. So now you could tell your opponent, like, look, it's clearly I have the movement ability to get to the far end of that play stick. So what I would do is not, I would hit done on your movement tick so that it doesn't attach to that stick any longer, and instead click the place 1 button on the 2 button on the 2 tool. Yeah, click
Oh,
that one.
play.
Place, yep.
Okay.
Now take your character and just move it to it snaps to that tool. You see what I mean?
Yep.
That's the way to do it. You agree with your opponent. Yes, I have the ability to get that far, but and then
Okay.
for mechanical reasons, it's better to then get attached to the tool because this is the more crucial movement, right? Because you had
Right.
plenty of movement on the movement tool, but it's more crucial to put you exactly within one of the token.
Okay. And then I think that's all I can do with him because he cannot
No,
ignore.
no, you're gonna do his classic cosmic
I've got a
invigorate.
cosmic breath.
What's it
I've got a
called?
cosmic, right?
Uh, what's it? Is it? Yeah, the cosmic cube. You're gonna evoke the cube.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I gained 3. So we're doing cosmic cube. Gain
Yeah,
3. 1, 2, 3.
yep.
I roll 3 dice.
5 dice. Yep. And for you don't want skulls. For each skull, you're gonna take a damage.
Oh, roll 5 dice. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. I need to learn not to move with my mouse.
All right. See how we do.
Ooh, 2 damage.
Oh no!
3 damage.
3. Oh my god! I never seen it that high. That's really unlucky.
All
Oh,
right, so 3 damage.
oh, that's annoying.
And on that, I wouldn't gain the power from that because that did not come from an enemy attack, correct?
Correct. 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 Exactly. Just like with crises and stuff like that. Okay. So give him a tick now because that does cause an action, cost an action.
There we go.
Right. And then I'm
Right.
going to move Captain Marvel. And she's going to
Yep.
be really lame. And move here. And again, I'll show you. I'm pretty sure she's medium. She's got plenty of movement. So I put that aside. And then I hit place 1 there. Like that. And she's done.
All right. So then, guess now it's up to my buddy Ultron here.
Yeah. Another underrated character. Man, is he good. He is so
He,
good.
he's really, really good. I need to play him a lot more.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
him,
just.
him and his card, the Age of Ultron card.
Mhm. All right. So he's a medium. So that's an 8. Oops. 8. Place. Then I can pick him up and now move him.
Yep.
All right, then we'll do it again. Then done. 0. So we
Okay.
know he has the movement. Get within 1. I do not. Iron Man does not have anything that can throw.
No,
Actually,
his repulsor blasts still push people on a while.
okay. I don't know if I want to try to grab that cube or not, but no, we'll just go with the place.
Yeah, I
So
thought you were going for it.
I thought about it,
All right.
but we're messing around.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. 0.
All right, cool. Well, if you're not picking it up, I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one.
Let's do it again. And he's gonna move. Oop, I didn't pay for that. I'm gonna give him a tick straight away while I'm over here. But he's gonna move again. Okay. Just move him a little bit closer. Okay, cool. Now, all our characters have ticks. You have 1 day. That's perfect. Okay. So then so when you're at this stage, everything's fine. You
Mhm.
will count up the scenario points. So in my case, I happen to have 3 cubes and 2 points. They're each worth 1. So I pick up my custom token and put it on the 5. And you've got 2 cubes and 1 point, so you're going to take your custom token and put it on the 3. Cool. Then you would do whatever crisis effects were in the cleanup phase, and then once that's all done, you hit the automatic one person. This is a little bit weird about the mod. Uh,
Okay.
Not both people. One person. So you agree with your opponent. You know, I'm going to click it now. Are you ready? Kind of a thing. So I'll
Okay.
let you do it. You click it, and it will do all the automatic cleanup stuff. So if you click it, and sometimes it takes a little bit to there's a bit of lag sometimes, so just give it a minute. But there it goes.
Okay.
So what's happened, if you can notice, the priority token moved to your side of the table since you're priority, and in the overhead display, it's also closer to you, like to your name.
Mhm.
Um, it reset all the tools, and it reset, it gave, it cleaned up all the tokens from people. It will have flipped Spider-Man, so he's on his injured side. If you look on his card, now he's
Yeah.
right, yeah. And the overhead display will have the bars now are outlined in red instead of green, so you can tell that he's the injured.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yep. And it moves the turn tracker up 1 automatically. So now she has his turn 2. So so it does all that kind of like cleanup, the maintenance kind of stuff that you got to do.
Excellent.
So now it's turn 2. So you would hit automatic power button. Now again, whereas automatic cleanup phase, only one person should hit it, but everything
Okay.
else, each person is responsible for themselves. So if you hit auto power phase, um, it will add 1 power. But
Okay.
then, as
So
I said, the the cubes, it doesn't do crisis type stuff. So now you would want to go to your characters. Whoever's holding a cube, you give them a power and a damage based on that's what the crisis is.
okay.
Okay. I'm going to just grab a glass of water. Give me 2 ticks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now I was gonna say this settled everything that I needed, and I think if anybody was watching this, I think this would settle everything that they needed.
I totally agree.
So
There's nothing
yeah,
else. Now it's rinse and repeat until the game's over.
absolutely. So I don't mind absolutely calling it here.
Okay, fine. Yeah, gladly.
Yeah, this has been absolutely wonderful just to kind of see how everything works. The days went through.
Great.
And it gives me some idea of when I'm giving demos in person on exactly how to set it up to where it's step by step, and I can do the same thing every time to get a throw in, get a dazed in, get some attacks in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing sort of showed it before, but like, let's say I wanted to throw something like this dumpster,
Yes.
so Doc Ock he can measure 3, 3. Let's say, yep, say the dumpster is clearly within 3, no problem. And then, like I was saying, I'm gonna throw it. Let's say I'm gonna throw it short. So I'd hover over him, and I'd
Mhm.
click 7, which is short. And let's say for some reason I hated Captain America. He's pissed me off.
Ha,
So you can say, okay, yeah, the stick's touching him, so I can throw it there. And then, as I said, you hit the L button as you're hovering over the item, and then you can either move it out of the way, or you can just hit the as you're hovering over it, hit the delete key, and it just goes away.
excellent.
And
Now, is
that's
there
all the
a way to lock
functionality.
things down?
Say
Like
again.
where you,
Sorry.
is there a way to lock things down to where you can't pick them up?
Yeah. So uh, the anything that you can hover over, if you hit the L
Hmm.
button, it'll lock it. So for instance, this secure right now, I can't pick it up, right? So I'm hovering over it. I hit the L button to unlock it, and now I can pick it up.
Ah, okay.
Now, in the
And
old days, before we had the little green thing, like
yeah.
where you could see, yeah. So what you could do is you could pick up your character like this, by just holding the left key, and then if you hit
Hmm.
the L button while you're still holding them up in the air, it stays in the air. And
Okay.
why that's handy is then you could use the stick, for instance, put a stick uh, here. Um, you could then see, and if it touches if the shadows touched, then you knew
Ah,
it
okay.
was in range. But like I said, the tools have gotten more sophisticated in the end time. So that's the only reason why we used to do like these locks up in the middle of the
Lock.
air like that. There shouldn't be
Okay.
any other reason to do it.
Now, the people that make this,
Mhm.
or person, do they have a link somewhere in there to where you can donate to them for as like a
Oh,
thank you for making this?
that is super nice that you even mention it. I don't think so. They're so altruistic. These people are fantastic. Some Southerners too, I should say, from the states are involved, and I think they're very modest about it. So I don't think there's any anything like that. Believe it or
Okay.
not, it might be hard to believe these days, but yes. I will
And
double check though, and if there is, I will put it into the show notes, and I will message you
okay,
directly about it.
absolutely. Because this is gonna change everything that I do. Just
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That's
you know,
amazing. That's so
doing your whole
great.
thing. Like I used to do that in War Machine and Guild Ball. Like what would I do on my first turn? And I'll set a board up and I would move each individual model on
Hmm.
this is what I would do turn one. And then
Hmm.
go back and do it again. So it becomes that muscle memory.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And then if you want, you and your buddies who can't get together in real life, you can try these sort of things on the computer together. So the TTS, like I said, you have to buy that. It's not terribly expensive. It probably is like $20, maybe.
I think it's $20, but I've never almost not seen it on sale. I
Right.
wouldn't even say at it in a summer sale or winter sale for $8.
Yeah, exactly. And the mod's for free.
Yeah,
Um, and this Discord server is a really welcoming place and a great place to find out about the leagues that they run 3 times a year, 4 times a year, and also to get looking for group, random pickup games if you want.
okay, excellent.
Cool.
And you didn't even have a beer today. I was shocked.
I just finished dinner and had a beer, so it was
I have
wonderful seeing you as well after all these years. It's amazing. I'm so glad that you reached out to me.
Thank you so much for walking me through this, and hopefully it helps somebody else as well.
Yeah, I just saw another chatter, first time chatter from the doctor, the ex doctor. Great tutorial. I have been messing with TTS for a while, but you made this look loads easier. Good. That's exactly what we were hoping. So Jason, I appreciate you letting me stream it for everybody's benefit.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you having me on,
Oh,
and we'll have
real
a game.
quick. This will be on Twitch, but only for a limited time because I'm not like a important Twitch personality. However, I will export it to my YouTube channel, which stays up indefinitely. So my YouTube channel is I think it's just dr_Norbert as well. Let me look it up real quick now since we're recording. Um, yeah, it's youtube.com/lowercase c. I don't know why. So youtube.com/c/Dr. So Dr.
All right.
Norbert Games. Dr. Norbert Games, like that.
Okay.
So you'll find all my streams there, but you'll also find this tutorial as well.
Now, are you a real doctor, or are you like Dr. Dre? You just gave yourself doctor.
I wouldn't mind being Dr. Dre though, but I am a biochemist by training, so I have a
Very
graduate
nice.
degree. Yeah. Um,
I
so
wonder. Wonder if anybody else has ever asked that question.
I do get it occasionally. It's funny though, with internet land, you can't be too sure, so it could just as
Oh,
easily be be a handle.
sure.
But I'm not very creative, as you could tell, so I just used something that was kind of me and made it into my
Yeah.
handle.
Look at my name. Weird.
Yeah. Uh, all right, Jason, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in the leagues soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye now.